We are in the heart of vendor event season. And for those people who are just getting started out doing vendor events, I get a ton of questions like, what do I take? How much product do I take? How do I market? Oh my God, my tent's flying away. What do I do? So today we're going to talk about tips and tricks for vendor events. Now, when it comes to the question of how much do I take, that question you just never really know how to answer, because we've had small shows where we've almost sold out, and we've had big shows where we haven't really sold a lot. But the thing to remember is the market that you're going to. If you're going to a huge festival, like your community or your area is known for, say, cranberries, and you're having a cranberry fest, and there's 100,000 people that are supposed to be there, you want to take as much product as you can, because what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You sell out. So for an event, with hundreds of thousands of people, you want to take everything you can possibly take. For a small 10 to 20,000 person vendor event, then you want to scale that back, because you got to remember, not everyone's going to stop at your tent. Of those people that stop, not everybody's going to buy. I mean, yes, we would love it if everybody that walked by just couldn't resist our products and boom, they bought everything we had. But in all reality, that's just not going to happen. And you're going to run into other vendors who do exactly what you do. We do a lot of events where there might be up to 6 of those LuLaRoe vendors, and they're like, every 6th tent is another, stretchy pants vendor. So it happens, and there's no way to combat that. The only thing that you can do as a business owner is don't be a used car salesman, because nobody likes that. Know your products. Be polite, be friendly, have a smile on your face. And I know after 6 hours, your face is going to hurt. But, be as happy to see them as they want you to be. Not overexcited, don't be fake, but you're happy there's a customer there. You're happy that you have not only a potential sale, but a potential client for the long term. Somebody's going to love you, love your products, come back, and they know they can rely on you. And you can't develop that by sitting there with your head down, playing on your phone. That's the other thing. Stay off your damn phone. It's really offensive to a lot of people when they walk up to a booth and your face is buried in your phone. I've heard people complain about it. Like, my daughter and I do these shows together, so she'll watch the booth and I'll go look at other vendors, and then I'll watch the booth and she'll go look at other vendors. And half the time we end up buying from other vendors. It got so hot at one show I soaked through a t-shirt, so I went down to the next block over and got a t-shirt from a lady because I wanted some dry clothes. But, I hear people talk, and that's the other reason that we walk around, is to listen to what people are saying. And when they walk into a tent and somebody's face is buried in their phone, they don't want to buy from you because they don't feel important. That person walking into your tent is the most important person in your life at that time, okay? So I know it's hard, I know it gets boring, but make sure that your attention and focus is where it needs to be. When you're setting up your displays, make sure that you have changes in elevation, okay? A straight line is a lot more boring to look at than a table with a box here and another box, or a pedestal up here. So utilize the space as much as you can. Most of the vendor events we go to, you get a 10-foot by 10-foot space, and that's all you have, and you can't go outside that space and encroach into another vendor's area. So go up, here, I'll show you. These are shoe cubbies I bought at Walmart. They sell them at Target. They sell them everywhere. But this is literally, they're 2x3 cubbies. There's 2 of them there. And we take these to shows. And then it gives you height, okay? So now where it's basically 3 feet wide, now you've increased your square footage because you're going up. Now, what else to take, okay? I'm not going to tell you what to take for your product because you know your product better than I do, but here are some things that we never, ever leave the shop without when we go to a vendor event. One, it's going to sound crazy, and when you go to the hardware store to buy this, they might think that you're burying body somewhere, but zip ties and duct tape. I'm here to tell you, we went through, one of the shows that we did last year, we took a big pack of like 100 of the real long zip ties. We didn't have hardly any when we left, because not only did we use them, other vendors needed them because the wind was kicking up. Our bath bomb stand for our shows goes vertically. It's like a post with baskets hanging off of it. And we literally zip tied our tent to that post to help keep it down, because the bath bomb stand weighs a lot once it's full. So we had it staked in the ground. We had it also zip tied to the bath bomb stand. And believe it or not, it probably saved our tent, because a lot of people were suffering because of the wind. And that is something you're going to have to decide as a vendor. I watched a lady lose hundreds of dollars worth of merchandise because it all blew over in the wind, and it was all glass, so it broke. You need to make the decision as a vendor. Sometimes events are going to be a total loss. You're going to pay your vendor fees to go in. The weather's not going to cooperate, and boom. But you need to decide, like, is this weather going to destroy my product? Because you still have a business to run when you leave this vendor event. So sometimes you have to make that hard decision and go. But zip ties help hold things down. Duct tape, you can duct tape your tablecloths to your table to help keep them from whipping around. You'd be amazed. I had a tent that did get taken by the wind and it tore, and I just got it duct taped closed, the roof, and it started pouring rain. So that duct tape saved my booty. So duct tape, zip ties, crazy I know, but it's going to go along with the next thing you don't want to forget, and that is garbage bags. Garbage bags can be used for more than just garbage. If you get the big, like 30-gallon garbage bags, you can actually cut them and lay them over your product to protect them from moisture if it starts raining. You can drape it over things, put it over yourself. I mean, don't forget the garbage bags. Now, you don't have to take a huge whole box of them, but you want to have a few with you at all times for those reasons. And you wouldn't believe how many people at some of these festivals, they get distracted. They got little kids and that are running off, and they set a Coke down, they set, their empty hot dog container down or whatever, and that trash is there, and you want to do something with it, and you don't want to put it on the ground, like tuck it under your table, because then it's full of ants, and you've got ants crawling everywhere. So, it just, things happen, so take a garbage bag. And then you got your no-brainers, like business cards, ink pens or pencils, just the miscellaneous things that you keep in your shop that you use all the time. So scissors, pens, our business cards, business card stand, all of those things are important. The next thing that we never forget to take is paper towel and Windex. And again, that might be something that seems a little like, why? What are you cleaning? But sometimes we notice something on a table that we didn't get wiped off before we left, or whatever, something gets spilled. It is really nice to have, Windex is nice and gentle, and you're not going to stain a lot of things using Windex. The smell is not offensive to most people, so I have taken other cleaners before, but I find Windex works the best. It's great for spot cleaning. And just the paper towels are so important because, you might spill, customer might spill. I know last year we were doing an event and this guy walked up with an ice cream cone that was melting all over his hand. And I gave him a paper towel and he was just so thankful. And he wasn't even going to buy anything. He was just wandering around, and he ended up buying something because I helped him out. I had a woman walk in too, and her ice cream, actually I think it was like a sorbet in a cone or something, but it was running down her arm, and it was getting dangerously close to dripping on her white pants. And I just handed her a wad of paper towels, and she was really thankful. And it's just when you go an extra mile for people, they go an extra mile for you. So then they're talking about you as they're wandering around. And that matters, as a community, we should be taking care of each other anyway, right? If you have a newsletter, which you should have a clipboard with a sign-up sheet that says sign up for our newsletter here. That is giving you permission to add their email address into MailChimp or whatever system you use. So have a way to collect those email addresses. Some people will do it like on their iPad or whatever, but I find that people are more comfortable just jotting it down than like plugging it in somewhere themselves. The problem is not everyone's handwriting is legible, but there you go. Do the best you can. I hope these tips and tricks have helped you get ready for your vendor events. I know I probably should have done this in the spring before this all got started, but you know, it's really important. You know, if you're allowed to take drinks and food, you can save some money doing that because you don't want to spend all the money you made on drinks and food. But support your other vendors when you can. But I hope that this helps you with show season, because I know it can be very daunting your first year, and just being a little bit more prepared and organized can really help you kind of avoid some problems.